How's everyone doing? I said whatever chat once. I'm not sure I quite hold to whatever, but you know, you know, within reason, within reason. All right, let's see. What do we have on the docket? Let's see. Here we go. Let's get hit up some GitHub. Let's what are we wanting to do? We'll just jump over here, go to our projects, jump onto live stream. We have nothing. We have nothing ready to go for today. Actually, let's change this view. I want to filter out let's see. No, I don't want it. I want it to not show done. So we're just learning how to use GitHub's project management feature. Let's see. Let's see. I want to filter by value, but I want to hide the values that are done. Exclude status. Yeah, negative status. Done. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Why is this? Why does the controller know? Oh, okay. I got this one. This one's actually done. Close that. All right, we'll save changes here. We want this should just be like what we have to work on. I'm not sure I love their iterations. Not for this. If you're doing like sprints, I get it. Probably is nice. But it almost forces you to use them, and like, I don't want timelines on my crap. Like, it's just whenever. All right. What do we want to do? Oh, I was, let's see. I was getting, i3 set up. I don't know whether we'll use i3 or GNOME. We'll probably switch back and forth. It's been like, so honestly, it's been like 2 years since I've used i3, but I really like it for streaming. I really like it for streaming because it lets me lay out the my other screen with like chat and Discord really nicely. Um, and so I like that a lot. Um, you know, the thing I dislike the most about GNOME is that I have 4K monitors and it doesn't do quarters. I really don't want quarters. And like that's there's probably a GNOME plugin. I know that there's a GNOME plugin. I know that there is. I haven't found it yet. I'm not using it. As soon as I find the GNOME plugin folder, then we might go back to GNOME. But for right now, we're just going to give i3 a little bit. And for all of you that use i3 gaps, you're monsters. You're absolute monsters. Let me turn the heat off really quickly. All right. What should we do? I guess I'm just gonna work on assembly then. That's let's see if we can't make a better view than this. New view. What are we gonna be? We're gonna be a board. Yeah, but we're not gonna be iteration based. We're just gonna be like, what we doing? Let's see. We don't need nearly this many. We're just gonna delete that one. We're gonna delete this one. Yeah, we're gonna delete this one. We're gonna have new. We're gonna rename this one. In progress. We're gonna make it pink. There we go. There we go. That's much better. That's what I like to see. Simple. What's up, bud? Yeah, that's fine. No, thank you. I'm not gonna pay for views. People want to come see my content, they can come see my content. If they don't have to come see my content. All right, let's see. What are we are going to add a new one. How do I add straight from here? I just want to make a new. Save changes. Can I not add a new one like over here? I guess not. So we'll just type it in over here. That's a little weird. I feel like I should be, and let's rename this view. Let's rename it to simple. That's right. I suck at naming. All right, our simple view. I still feel like, oh, it's just down here. I got it. Never mind. You can do it here. I lied. Work on assembly line proof of concept. I think that's what I'm gonna work on today. And actually, let me edit this. I didn't edit this. Work on assembly line server proof of concept. Now let's review what we actually have. Russell is working on the agent. I thought I copied that. I guess I didn't. Let me copy it and paste it. So the latest update hardcodes the input and output volumes mapping to the host input and output. Okay. Val file in the input, which just contains some text, and a something.sh script, which uses the val file to read the input and write it to the output folder. The script also runs ls command to show directory contents and also tries to write to the readme volume input. Okay. Cool. So while he was doing that, I I pushed this. Let me put that in chat for him. All right. Ooh. I guess we can just start there. Start on the proof of concept there. You need to put the headphones on or not have sound. Thanks, bud. You can wear the headphones if you like. All right. Actually, I want to just look over what he's done here. What did he do for the proto buffers? That's what I want to see. Let's see. He used tonic here and Prost. Okay. I didn't use tonic and Prost the last time that I did this. Let's open up here and let's see. So this is what I did the last time I did proto buffers, which was a while ago. I used tonic, but I did not use Prost. Oh, I did use Prost. Never mind. Never mind. I thought for some reason I didn't use Prost. It's obviously been updated a few times since I did it. But I guess I did use Prost. Everything's like at least a year old on this. Kind of surprised that Surdy isn't much moved on. I guess it has. Okay. So is there nothing better than Prost these days? Now, did he do it the same way with a build RS? Yeah, okay. Okay. I do like this way of building. I forget who I saw did it this way. I think it was what's his face from Red Hat. And I liked it. I think that it's a nice way to build out your protos. So basically it's going to compile them here. You can see here. He has a vendor, GitHub, Kubernetes. So we can just go look at his vendor, GitHub, Kubernetes CRI. So he just pulled in their API.proto right in here. And it's going to build the Rust out here, which is pretty cool. So all right, let's shoot. What should we do? For the server, we've got to come up with an API, and we've got to come up with a API and cluster management. Not like Legion. So in Legion, every single node has to know what each other is. So this node has to know what this node is doing, and it has to know what this node is doing, and it has to know what this node is doing. And this one has to know what this one is doing and what this one is doing, and so forth. So this is a little bit more complicated. I bet, although maybe a little easier because I actually know methods of doing it. Whereas in this, there isn't cluster management in the traditional sense of cluster management. It's more like, let's see. The server, and these are agents here. Agent. Agent. And these are gonna, I think we're just gonna long pull for right now to keep it simple. But these agents are gonna long pull the server, and the server needs to effectively just keep a list of connected agents. But this isn't quite true, because what we need to do is really we need to put this in a database, Postgres. Oh wait, what was it? I just press enter. PGDB. So we're just gonna dump that into a Postgres database. And everything should be happy. Then we have things like GitHub. Okay, these boxes are massive. I'm gonna make everything smaller, and then I can zoom in, so everything's bigger to read. There we go. Purify this a little bit. All right, so then we have like webhooks here. So this is a list of incoming things. So let's events. We also need to get a list of actions. Now, this is where I don't know, and this will probably take some experimenting. I think I got my hair cut in this shirt. Like, this shirt is super itchy now. So, Might have to go change my shirt. um, super itchy. All right. So here we're probably so when we get an event, we have to basically check for a pipeline. Repos. I'm going to just say repos and etc. So basically, if we get an event that there's a pull request on this branch on yeah, on this branch, whatever, we need to know if there's actually something we need to do, which means we need to know all of the checked in actions that are on a repository. I don't know the best way to do this. This will be one of the things that we need to think about because I think that there could be a couple ways to do this. One of the ways is basically every single time a branch or a PR is merged, we read in all the files for that branch. So we say this branch has these files. So every pull request or push, we read the for each branch, we keep, over here, we have a directory of repo, and under that, it has a list of branches. And in that list of branches, we keep the actions or the assembly lines. This seems like a lot of storage on our side. Like not a ton or anything like unmanageable here, but it's already stored in Git over here. So it seems like a waste. Seems like a waste to me. And I guess we could store this in the Postgres over here. If I was running this as a service, this right here would actually be a pretty good thing for a classic NoSQL. I actually think throwing that at and you can do some of that with Postgres actually. So maybe that's how we deal with this. I feel like we need each branch. Although we could just say that assembly lines run only off the main branch. So basically when an assembly line runs, one second. All right. Sorry about that. Let's see. So we could do this, but I'm not sure. The other way is that we check Git for it. We check GitHub for it. So we get an event pull request on the main, some event like this. PR main my repo. And this event, actually, I need to do it like this. PR main repo. So it's PR branch repo. Okay. We get something like this coming in. Basically, at that point, we can locally check out the PR or the branch that they're trying to pull into and the repo. The other thing that can be a little bit of a pain with GitHub Actions is which branch is running that runs the action. So you have like the branch you're merging into, and you have your branch as well. And so if you're changing a GitHub action, it's actually impossible to check it because it runs on the main branch one, which I think it would be nice if this was configurable. Because for public repos, 100% you have to have that. Because on a public repo, you're going to get people that are going to just mine Bitcoin by submitting a PR, and you don't want that. But in a private repo, when it's just your team working on something, I think like it's pretty rough because you can't test a new PR until it's actually in the main branch, and because of that, it's you don't really know if it's going to work. Now, some of this is alleviated by working locally. Yeah. Which we will have. I feel like having this pull the whole repo would not be fun. I don't think it needs. Actually, you know what? Through their Graph API, we should be able to pull out the like let's see if he has any here. He doesn't. We can jump. We should be able to through their API. This is something we'll have to check out, but like oh, this doesn't have any actions either. Okay, well, I was gonna say we should be able to pull out like just specific files. So we'll have to look into that. GitHub API. I think we just want the graph one. Let's just dumpster dive really quickly, see if we can't pull a file from a branch, because that's what we would need to do, is like get a file from a branch. I don't even know. Let's see. Rate limit. Uh-oh. You can check our current rate limit status at any time. This is going to be a problem. We need. Okay, not right now, but thanks, bud. Okay, so that would be our webhook. I knew that. But how do we watch a file? You know what we might look at is GitHub drone. How does drone do it? Actually, I need to recheck out drone. Maybe drone is. I know it used to not be great. Um, I know that Rancher used to use drone, and they were moving off of drone to GitHub Actions. Um, I only used it a little bit. But it might be close to what we're trying to do with assembly line. So it might be good. Anyways, what I wanted to do is, you know, how GitHub Actions has this file over here. So we have, you know, some, you know, dot. Stop making me edit that one. We have some like dot or something dot or pipeline dot YAML. And this exists in a folder, in a branch, in a, yeah, you know, and we could even say like ours are in a .al slash, you know. Yeah. So we have this, and this is in here, and this is in a branch. It exists in a branch. Branch. Can we make this go up? Yeah, we can. So this exists in a branch, and this is all good. But at the same time, we then need to retrieve that information somehow. They might just pull the code. What if you have a big repositories then? Like, that's gonna, and then if you pull the code in memory, that could destroy your server pretty quickly. And you wouldn't want to just keep pulling it. You'd want to keep it around, I guess. So is that what you do? That seems wrong to me. Hmm. This is kind of the classic gross go. I don't like it when, like, because they're all in one package here, like, these are all the package core. And they did break it into a bunch of files, but I'm not sure why. It doesn't really limit them. Hmm. Did they watch Redis for like ugh. I don't like Redis for this, but I guess they were just using Redis to take in the webhooks probably to then do like a pub sub across the nodes listening. Kafka would be better. Good afternoon, or Russell. You are the first chatter, so you get to decide what we do. Within limits, I was gonna do whatever. I was working on the server, so I made the assembly line server. I see that you pushed this here. I didn't see that last night. Um, I made I made this. I just made a server and agent workspace inside the assembly line project where we can play around. You're more than welcome to do it here. I had just done this last night. I was starting to think about how I would do the server since nobody was chatting. So we can actually get into like some writing some code. But I was trying to think of how storage would work on this. So how our data would flow. Because basically the problem I'm trying to think through in my head, something I've never done before is we have a branch or we have multiple branches. We could have 20 branches. And in each branch there is a .al slash pipeline.yaml. I don't want I don't want to have the server required to pull all of the code for for each repo that it watches. I think if we have a clone, that's bad. So I was looking at how Drone might have done it, as well as looking through GitHub's API because, like, can I fetch a single file or a list of files in a directory for a branch? I feel like the API should have that, but I don't know. I haven't. Get the contents of a file or directory in a repository. So I need to list the files. Let's see. Get repo owner contents path. Right, but I have to list because okay, so what I was thinking is like that works, but I need to list all of them because there could be well, it won't let me edit the text spec. Okay. There could be multiple. There could be, a .al slash other pipeline. At least this is what I was thinking. So I need to list everything in the AL pipeline. Which I'm sure that there's a one for it. I just started looking. Um, because what I think we're going to get is we're going to get an event that has basically this PR branch or repo. Like it's going to have this information, and then we need to go get the information. Since we're not storing it, it's in Git. Now, I did find that there are some rate limits to these things, so we're going to have to work with that. Um, So this gets a file or directory in a repository. So this I think will work here. And we'll just have to make sure that it is less than 1 megabyte. Not every time it changes. I mean, yeah, every time it changes, we would have to, because we don't know if a pipeline was added, right? I don't know. This is where, like, I was just starting to think through of what the server would need to do. In my mind, this pull request could add another pipeline, right? So I would have to know. Or do we only let you specify for each Git repo a main branch? I don't feel like that's the right thing to do. And then the other thought was, do we register it like this? In our database, do we keep some registry? This was the other thought of what we've seen. But then again, even if we keep a registry, when there's a new event, we'd have to scan again, right? There's no way not to scan it again. I don't think. Well, that's why I was doing the convention was that it has to be in the .al folder. So maybe you need to store on the server where the main pipeline definition is, and that main pipeline can reference any others. You're saying like the main branch is where, the main definition is stored. That's fine. And then we only have to watch there. In theory, will that work? Now, when a local agent wants to run, and they want to run with local information, they have their own .al pipe new pipeline. And they make a request to run. So this agent is going to want to run this. We'll make it a little smaller so it fits in. No, the path to it. You can use any named branch you want and any location you want, but there is only one, and it has to be stored on the assembly line server. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. You're saying in our case, we're gonna say the branch is main and it's .al is where it's stored, and we're gonna store that back here in this database somewhere where main is the main branch to watch. And we'll make that in a little bit more machine readable. But basically something like this. The reference to the location to be stored on that's what I'm saying. It's stored back here somewhere. This is I just put a Postgres database back here. This is the server. I was trying to think of what the server needed. It needs a list of active agents. Location where main ALs are located. No. So what I'm trying to think through here, Russell, is when an agent wants to run one that's not stored in this main place. So this main place is going to be for events, but then we have things that aren't events. And so I think this works. So we say that we're only going to watch a branch for the main ones. But there's two problems that I see with that. And so let's talk about those. I'm glad that you're here instead of me thinking by myself. Well, and the person trying to scam me into giving them money. Other than that, I asked them what they wanted to do, and they said, "Well, I want to scam you." And I was like, "Well, I did say anything, but I'm gonna have to put my foot down." All right. So with this one, we have a new pipeline, and we want to run it locally. Obviously, there's some command that the agent says or does to run this pipeline. Do we pass this pipeline to the server to be parsed? Like when we say we want to run this pipeline, because I imagine that the agents don't actually get this pipeline YAML. They get some amalgamation. They get something from the server. Do we simulate that? But then we said that we wanted to be able to run locally without a server ever. So I feel like even if that is true, like when it's connected to a server, because this could have another thing that this should have is env vars secrets. Okay, so even if that is true, where we want to do it completely locally, we also want to be able to pass it up and get all the things that we need, like the environment variables, the secrets, which it would need to know what pipeline we were doing to know what secrets and environment variables we wanted to do. So I think the answer is both in this case. Well, the server needs to know what's in the pipeline, doesn't it? For it to give the agent those things? Well, but it would have to know this is a brand new pipeline. It wouldn't know what secrets or anything was in it unless if it passed it up to the server, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fair. We can do it that way. Next problem. So we've solved the local agent. We have the main branch when something gets pushed to the main branch. The one that I want to solve now is what about I make a PR? I make a PR over here. This is my PR. And this PR, this PR has a new pipeline. Do we say in this case that this new pipeline cannot run from the PR? Because it's not where the server looks to watch. It doesn't exist in main yet because the PR hasn't been approved. Do we just say that this can't happen? You can either run it locally or you can run it once it gets merged? That could be fine. That's just something we'd have to, that's a precedent we would have to set. There is a separate event for PRs. So we're back to scanning the AL folder on a PR. That's what I was talking about. You could pull the blob for the PR. It'd be tiny though. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. Possibly, probably. I don't know why I'm saying probably because I don't understand, but I'm gonna just assume that since you said it, it probably is true. Um, I don't think that you can just take the PR because this could be like just half, like it could just be a major update. So it doesn't necessarily have to be true. And I think you should be able to set whether you want PRs. Another thing that you have to be thinking of is like in an open source project, you don't want PRs to run the pipeline that's on the PR. You want it to run the one that's here, because if this has access to secrets, you could just start mining Bitcoin on the person's account. So this either needs to be a setting that you can enable for like private trusted repositories, or just leave disabled altogether. If it's not tiny, you get to eat the cost of pulling a huge repo because you are bad at software development. uh, uh, uh. All right, I'm not going to worry about PRs right now. I think this can wait till after we get the rest of it working. I think if we can get the main working and the local agent working just fine, this is something that maybe takes more work, but can be figured out later. I think if the first that happens is on a PR, we get it to run the main. That's what GitHub Actions does now. And I think that is, status quo. So on that event, we're just going to run whatever pipeline exists in the main default branch. Then I think that's good enough to start. Well, that's what the local agent is going to do. Right? That's the whole point of the local agent. Well, so that's what I thought. That's what I thought the PR was nice for. Because it could, again, I don't think the PR version, I don't think this version would work in a. I don't think it would work in a way that. I don't think it would work in an untrusted environment, because in a place where like you're an open source project, you could make a PR and then you could mine Bitcoin on, my servers because you made a PR that mines Bitcoin. So I don't think that you can do. I don't think that it can be even something that's on by default. It has to be private repos only, and you have to enable it. But then you could submit this and develop on this branch here or on this PR. And then you could squash them when you got it working the way that you wanted. The only reason I think this works well is you have to have the code. Otherwise, what you're saying is like submitting it. This would have to zip up the entire directory, send it up here, and then this server would have to distribute that to the pool, which in the normal pipeline is going to have like a checkout one where it checks out the code, and that checkout is going to, you're going to have to bypass that. So I feel like it has to be on the PR. On this, it could have the real secrets, it could have the real everything, and but that has to be enabled, by somebody that like, or you could do it by only a few trusted users could do it. You have to have the permission to test your thing on a PR. That's what I'm saying. If you're on a public, untrusted repo, you can't do it, as you'll have disabled PR runs. I mean, I think that will be. I mean, in my opinion, we shouldn't allow them to enable it on a public repo. If your repo is public, you can't do PR runs. Period. I'm just. You can edit. If you want it so bad, you can edit that protection out of the code, compile your own AL, and run it. I think that's bad for people with public repos. What do you mean? Maybe we could do that in version 2. I think that's an edge case. I think that you're right that that would be nice if I'm trusted in the assembly line to make changes to the pipeline. I can test with real secrets. I think that sounds really nice. I think that that sounds like something that can come down the line. Doing that safely and securely is more difficult, I think. Because at that point, we actually have to know the GitHub user and tie that back to an AL user and understand which one's which. And I think a lot of that, there's a lot that goes into that, and we'll have to be very, very careful with it. Um, I mean, one pipeline versus two pipelines, I didn't think there was a difference. Now, unless if you're saying tying these together, like pipeline 1 could use pipeline 2, I would definitely say that's not in the first release. But if you're saying running two distinctly different pipelines, I don't know why not. We need auth for setting up secrets, but we don't actually have to tie that to a GitHub user, right? That would all just be inside of assembly line. Well, we'll have another office hours, and we can also talk about it on. I think we can agree that this doesn't need to be supported right out of the box. Maybe version 1, but not even like a MVP. I consider MVP like maybe a little bit before version 1. Um, oh, I feel like there's actually a way to pop. Wait, there is a way to pop chat out. I could try to like. You know what? Wait, maybe I can do this. One second. One second. Maybe I can fix this myself. I'm going to just do this. Bam. Here we go. There we go. This will be a little bit easier, I think. For me, at least. Um, and you guys can read your own chats if that makes you guys feel any better. Get those in. I'm like a real streamer now. I got my chats embedded into the stream. Perfect. I know that's a lie because I message you a lot. You can see the latency now. Oh, is it not big enough for you to read? Here we go. We'll make it bigger. 4 seconds. That's not too bad, honestly. All right. So I think we can discuss this more in office hours. I think we can just say that this doesn't need to be done right now. We both agree that we'd like to have it done, and we possibly would like it to be able to also eventually support open source projects based off of a trusted user, either a list that's checked into the main branch here of trusted users. Or actually, that's probably the way we want to do it. Anyways, so we can do this. I just don't think we need to solve this edge case right now. This is like when we've done this, assembly line's effectively done. Probably not, obviously, but like I feel like this is like a year in the making. We have a whole lot of other things to get done before we get this edge case where public repos can have trusted users who can run pipelines in PR requests. I think it's okay to. I don't think that it's going to hinder us in any way to ignore that edge case first. So, yeah. So I think that we just go this way for right now, or just ignore this for right now. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You can go to assembly line. Yeah. So there should be everything on assembly line should be 100% public. So if they wanted a feature, they can actually, jump over here and make a issue. Maybe that's something I should work on this weekend is getting an issue template out for people to follow. And then there's a project, so you should be able to vote on anything that you'd like. Well, I was gonna say that's where like I didn't want to sit here and argue about that one feature for too much, just because I get your point and I agree, but we have a lot of stuff to do other than that. So I got to create the server first. But yeah, so there should be. Is there a way to vote here, like upvote something? I feel like you can just leave your emoji on it. Like you can be like, yeah, I want this. There, I voted on it. In the projects, I don't know that there's a true voting mechanism here. Oh, I'm terrified by you, Russell, sometimes. Absolutely terrified. All right. So let me think. I'm not sure if there's true voting. Again, like you can. I feel like this is the best voting I can give people. easily. Maybe in the future we can get some better voting, but people are more than welcome to not only add add not only add issues, but go check out the assembly line roadmap. It's also public. It's not public for editing. You have to be part of the project. I'm a secret Canadian. Oh. All right. I think you just offended all Canadians. Is there? I don't know. I've just started using roadmaps, so let's see. Can we see? We got labels, estimates. Let's try to add a new one. Let's see. Emojis? Emojis is not one of them. Oh, not the maple. You're just trying to offend more of them? The only thing that they've provided to the world. I also like maple syrup. I don't see emojis here as. Let's see. Estimate. Yeah. So I mean, for right now, we're gonna be limited to this, and I don't see a good way to see it. I think you're right. I want to say like this is good enough for now, but I think that there should be a better way of doing it. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a different tool. Actually, their Graph API might. Like, you might be able to search for that. Oh, wait, it says add new field. Number emojis. But it's not getting filled by anything. This is just like something I can put in. That's dumb. Not dumb, but it would require me counting the number of emojis, and I'm not going to do that. All right, so with all this being said, I was trying to come up with some things to do. I'm thinking I'm gonna make some things that are effectively super big tasks, but I'm gonna say like MVP of these things. Okay, so I really like i3. I know that probably makes me a bad person. I got really annoyed, and I know that you're going to say, "Oh, but," and GNOME is still installed, so it's just whichever one I boot into. And I know that you have a solution to this, and I almost thought about asking you this morning when I switched, but I have a 4K screen, and I like my one that's monitoring to have both Twitch up with um So I have Restream because that's how I stream it over to the YouTube channel where it gets stored and saved forever. And then I have the Discord up, and it allows me to have some stuff up over here. And what I love about i3 is it makes having quadrants easy. Whereas I don't find it easy in GNOME. It lets me do half of the screen, but only half, not in quarters. It also lets me do this really easily, like terminal, code, web browser, and I don't have to remember which tab I was just going to. It's just the number, and it's always the same. So like I want to go to code, it's easy. The terminal right there. It's so easy to switch between them. And to like go to specifically the one you want. I want a new window with nothing. It's right here. That's my problem. Is there's no built-in way of doing tiling. I know that there's extensions. I knew that that's what you would say. I knew it. That's why I didn't say anything. Maybe I should have done that. I don't know. This was fast and easy. I just know it, so like it doesn't bother me to, you know. The only thing that really is bothering me is the System 76 keyboard configurator doesn't work on Arch. I do like i3. I also like GNOME. I like GNOME, and I actually think I use GNOME on my work computer because it's a laptop and it has different number of monitors and things like that attached to it at different times. And that's where GNOME really shines because I don't have any 4K monitors attached to it. And when the configuration changes, it's great. If you have i3 and you want to be able to dynamically change what monitors are attached and whatnot with like a laptop, the configuration gets insanely complicated and it's really not great. I was gonna say, I know that you're not secretly judging me. I felt bad because like if I had one person that hangs out with me, it would be you. And you hate i3. I know. I haven't gone to i3 because of this. And it's been killing me because I suck with GNOME in general. I'll probably go back to GNOME. All right. I'm going to make some high level, like, just build proof of concepts of these things. I think the secrets I'm not going to do. But the environment variables, and then I guess maybe some database. I was thinking, what do you think for the proof of concept to instead of doing this in Postgres? I think the real server should use Postgres, but what if you think the first server just used an embedded Squirrel database? Did you use Sway? Do you like Sway? I mean, I wanted to use Sway if NVIDIA would ever actually support Wayland. So you're right that our Squirrel database would probably be good enough for prod. My thought is this. Eventually you might have something like this. And basically, this is you want to become highly available. You want three servers running. Um, okay. Java apps are a bit wonky. Huh, that's interesting. I think that also is some with the territory of i3. Like for example, I don't even know if this keyboard configurator problem is an i3 problem because it's like trying to do some windowing thing with GNOME, or if it's actually a problem with it running on Arch. I don't know. Um, so this is the reason I was thinking of a Postgres database for production. I think our data should be small enough. I'm going to start with just an embedded SQLite database. I think I would say production we support, maybe we support either. I was going to say you can make SQLite work. But then my question is it any easier than just using Postgres anyways? So like I get it where people are like, oh, I can still use SQL. I can just do all this other stuff, and then I'm like, I understand that Postgres is more work, but is it actually that much more work? And to me, it's not. Um, so maybe we write it in such a way where we can use either. Because I love the idea of using a SQLite database so that if somebody just wants to run a standalone server on their home, like it can just stand up without needing to write a Postgres database. But if there's a company that wants to write, this as a highly available thing, they can do it, for real with Postgres. Okay, that I think that's what I'll do. But I'll start with the SQLite. Um, I'll start with the SQLite. That's going to be the one painful thing of Rust. I don't know that I like any of the ORM layers. There is Diesel that I know of. So I guess maybe we do this. Do you know of one? SQLX. SQLX. Isn't this Golang? I thought you were diametrically opposed to Go, especially with their square bracket usage. Oh, you were talking about the. All right, all right. It's not an ORM. I thought we were talking about ORMs. Yeah, really, I want DB agnostic. The only thing that will have to happen that won't be DB agnostic is when the server starts up, we're going to have to when the server starts up, if it's configured for SQLite, it needs to create it if it doesn't exist, which is fine. Okay. Yeah, let's. I guess we just need to play around with both of these. See which one's used by more people. Let's see. There's 263 contributors to SQLX, and then what's Diesel get? What's Diesel get? Oh man, these are neck and neck. What's their star counting? Oh, really close to their star counting and forks. My goodness. So I feel like we couldn't go wrong with either one of these. The only thing where Diesel has an edge is there's no release on GitHub. And this is at 0.6 and Diesel's at like 2. All right, so I don't think we could go wrong with either one of these. It looks like huge communities behind either. This brings us a full ORM. This seems a little more lightweight. I'm kind of going more towards this. Just I'm not a big fan of ORMs. Proof of concept time for DB crates. Yeah, I was gonna say that's basically what I need to go now. I have never loved ORMs. That being said, ORMs are actually pretty cool. Like the people that really know how to use them and leverage them, they can do some pretty awesome stuff because they'll do like database migrations and things like that for you. Whereas you're going to have to write those without them. That being said, I've always known the databases really well, so that translation to me always gets confusing because I know what I want the database to do, and then for me it gets to where I have to try to figure out how to get the ORM to do what I want to do with the database. So you've had extensive experience with what is it? Microsoft's Entity Framework? I've always heard good things about it. I've never used it. I've never used it. I've heard good things, but yeah. Yeah, it's good, but to a point. I think that's probably the statement of most ORMs. Oh wait, this is synchronous. Do we want asynchronous? Well, I don't want an ORM. I guess, but that's I spent a week fine tuning it and in the end turned off. Oh dear. Yeah, kind of classic. So are these going more ORM to give you asynchronous? I didn't really want ORM, but I didn't want synchronous. It doesn't look like it's any different though. Okay, so this doesn't seem to be really. This looks like it just uses SQLX. Okay, I might look at trying to use ORMX. Oh wait. It doesn't support SQLite. Really? Okay, well, never mind. Not using that. And this is going with like entity framework, so I definitely don't want this. So we'll just do SQLX and it will be synchronous. So we'll have to do this on threads if we want to. Um Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes we just have to hey, we're getting paid for XYZ. That's not bad. You get paid. That's my silver lining every single day. Well, because they said if you're looking for a asynchronous, but maybe they're more focusing on the ORM. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's asynchronous. I just kind of assumed that it was synchronous since they stated, like, if you're looking for asynchronous. Okay. All right, well, I like SQLX. I'll just go ahead and pull their examples and try to do that. The only problem with this pop out is now chat's not on this screen. So I have to go back here. I can see data wait calls. I think so. Yeah. So I think it's asynchronous. I don't know. Like they confused me, but let's see. Yeah, this is awaiting. So like I'm assuming it's synchronous. And the other thing that if you look up here, they include Tokyo. Like why would you include Tokyo if it was synchronous? Like so this just threw me for a loop. Sorry. I read this as if you're looking for something asynchronous, but this is probably really saying if you're looking for an ORM built on top of this, that happens to also be asynchronous, even though we ourselves are in fact asynchronous. Let's see. That was called SQLX. Let's open it here. Yeah, I trust the authors. Examples. Failed to run build scripts. Ooh. All right, not a big deal. I like the baby rails when bowling. I like the baby rails. All right, so this is what's going to be interesting. They create a pool of SQLite. We're going to need to basically make a generic wrapper around whether it's connecting to a SQLite or to Postgres, I guess. They don't look to seem to have one that can connect to both. So yeah, they acquire a connection to the SQLite from the pool. But this is typed to SQLite, so is this pool. Build RS is how I install the crypto miners after I said to trust. Trust. Touche. Touche. I earned that one. They can mine some crypto for a little while. My CPU has gone back to 2%, which is about what it takes to monitor. Like if we drop over to over here, this is about what it takes to run Discord and I was going to say Firefox for the Twitch stream. Oh, we weren't on CPU. I was going to say, I didn't think that was going to take the most. Okay, yeah. So Firefox is taking the most of the CPU. I mean, it's at like 1.8, 2% of my CPU. I love this CPU. You guys have no idea. My last CPU was so old that just doing this right here made this the CPU I was like sitting at 80% not building. Oh, I love this CPU. All right. It's a slow day for Electron. Well, so that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping that we can make this generic. So they get this connection here, and they just pass this connection to this execute. And this execute, no definition found for execute. I'm hoping that this definition of execute is generic. Isn't typed, but it's on a macro. It should let me go to it, right? Okay, so let's. We can try to go and find this ourselves. Let's see. SQLX macros, expand macro. Oh no, they might have a specialization for each one. So if this is the case, if even their macros are specialized for each database, what we're going to have to do is basically make something that wraps this, where we pass this into our object and it sees which one it's connected to and submits it to it. That's not as nice as I was hoping. That's not as nice as I was hoping. Oh, the stream started hiccuping with HTOP? Are you serious? Is it hiccuping now? Hello? Hello? Hmm. I wonder what causes the hiccups. I wonder if it was just a random. So interesting, my bit rate is spiking. So what the bit rate the server said is spiking from this. One second, let me just go straight to my chat. Just like this, see if changing the screen. I'm wondering if it's actually my bit rate that's causing the issue. I want to see if the bit rate calms down. I'm not sure why the bit rate would do what it's doing. So part of the bit rate, since it's on adaptive, so I have it set at a target of 4,000 kilobytes per second, and it's spiking up to 8,000 right now. But I don't know why, because it's supposed to be trying to do 2,000. And it's still spiking. Let me kill HTOP. Not a whole lot on the screen is changing, so I feel like the bitrate should actually drop because that's how the encoding video encoding does a lot of like what's changing on the screen, and so the less that changes, the less that you actually have to encode. So this should be fairly easy, but my bitrate's still high. Oh no, it's dropping now. Okay. So we're good now. So HTOP just spiked my bitrate. I guess because it has a bunch of stuff changing, but I don't feel like this is a ton that's actually changing. It might have been a coincidence. Thanks for calling it out though, because I do like to know. I know that I know that for sure. It does spike my bitrate though. That does. That's interesting. I know for sure if I do a full deployment of the null cloud, my stream will just start stuttering. Like my Kubernetes cluster consumes all bandwidth downloading images and stuff. So. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna have to experiment with this some. Let's see. There's like, yeah, it looks like there's macros for each database, unfortunately. You know, and this might not be bad because it will make us handle each database with purpose, allowing us to leverage the abilities of each database. So honestly, I guess I'm not even that upset. Okay. It would just mean more work. I was hoping they had a wrapper, but I don't see that in their examples. Why is there x.py? Hmm. Don't know. Don't care. Let's do this one. This returns a result. I almost feel like this should be able to be. Yeah, I'll have to check out Diesel as well. I'm about to switch over to some elevator though. Who wants to do some elevator challenge for just a little bit? I'm not even sure if I'll do all of the database stuff, but I'm gonna do some experiments, and then if we get to something that's interesting, I'll probably stop. Like just like try to get this to work. I might do that off stream. And yeah, we'll see. I don't mind doing that type of stuff on stream if people really like to see it on stream. I just at this point I kind of just need to like pull their I need to pull their different demo apps and actually see what it's like to use them. You know, I don't even know. I'm actually gonna clone theirs as well, though. I don't like the full ORM, so I'm probably not going to go with that. I do want to give it a fair chance, though. It's supposedly like not as big of an ORM as like normal, but let's see. Is there an SQLX like crate that supports Oracle DB? Hey, it's nice to see you for the first time. Thanks for joining us. I don't know. We can check it out. Few arms can be worse than Iron. So I will check both of these out off stream. If we get into actually implementing it, I'll try to. I'm not going to do everything on stream, but I will try to do it on stream if I can. Let's check it out. XS Oracle DB. Let's search for it. I don't know. Oracle has a blog on it. Times 10. I don't do much with Oracle though, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to recommend anything here. I'll drop this link in the chat. Might help you out. Does Oracle still support ODP? I don't know. I don't do much with Oracle. I apologize. Of the one database that you picked to ask questions, Oracle is the one that I make fun of. That's about all I know how to do with it. Yeah. So I worked for a company called Connolly, and they had Oracle databases, and even then, I preferred our Microsoft SQL. I think it was TSQL servers way better than I did Oracle. Oracle's a bit funky. It's our squirrel. Oh, sure. I wasn't saying that you picked Oracle. Let me be clear. Obviously, a lot of us are in the place where we support what we have to support, and that's it. I wasn't saying that you picked it, or I'm not even saying Oracle is necessarily bad. Like I said, this was back in 2010, the last time I've touched, or 2012. It was the last time that I touched an Oracle database. So I have very little near time experience. I do have more experience with NoSQL and other open source databases. I am generally highly opinionated and probably slightly biased, but. Which were they using here? What ORM were they using? Maybe they have their own Oracle. One second, I missed their. Here we go. Dependency Oracle. So it seems like install the Rust Oracle driver. It looks like Oracle has their own driver that you can use. No problem. And stick around. We do Rust. I was doing some Rust, and we're actually working on. If you ever want to get involved, we are working on this. It's mostly drawings right now, some scribbling, some other stuff, but it's this project right here, assembly line, and Let me just jump back here. Assembly line. We are creating a new open source project uh for your CI/CD pipelines. We're trying to make it. We're trying to fix the biggest problem that has plagued CI/CD pipelines since Jenkins. Jenkins was the first truly platform independent, but then it kind of fell behind the times, and things like Circle CI, Travis, GitHub Actions kind of came out and like were a lot easier to write plugins for. But they have the same problem: vendor lock-in and no really good local debugging. And so we're trying to fix that. Well, if you're new to Rust, there is a guy that I know. He's pretty good. Let me pull it up for you. I'll get you a link. I'll get you a link. There's a guy I know. There's a guy I know that you need to go watch his videos. You need to go watch his videos. I was going to give you my videos, but go watch Let's Get Rusty. You know, if you support him as a YouTube creator, that would be fantastic. If you'd like to watch me as a YouTube creator, that would also be fantastic. I have some videos. I've been working on it. Let's Get Rusty has some actually good stuff. I've watched some of his videos. I think it's great. If you already know my YouTube channel, then okay, perfect. I didn't know, sorry, that you already knew where my YouTube channel was. It is linked down below. I have some Kubernetes stuff as well. Yeah, anyways, we are working on assembly line. It's probably my most active open source project at this point. I'm pretty excited about it. So if you want to join in, we have office hours once every 2 weeks. Join the Discord. Russell, more than welcome to leave links to those people if you so feel pleased to, if you so please, if you so please. Yeah. So, yeah, anyways, you're more than welcome to join in. None of us are experts at, actually, Russell's probably the most expert at Rust. This will be my first kind of second-ish main big project in Rust. I've written part of Legion in Rust, and so yeah, gonna. So yeah. Did it say that it's the second and I need to get it the second and third. I meant the first and third. I'm an idiot. Okay. I meant the first and third, but I don't even know when that is. Let's see. When let me open up my calendar. Let's see. Yeah, I think the first and third would be good. Yeah, I am in the US, unfortunately. So not necessarily unfortunately, but unfortunately for European viewers, I do this time for you guys. I'm sorry that I do stream. I'm thinking about doing a morning stream, like an early morning stream instead of a late night stream. But we'll see about that. We'll see about that. It's okay. I know that I'm not the best YouTuber or whatnot, but if I can help some other people that are really good at it, then awesome. So go check out those people. All right, let's update this really quickly to the first. All right, but to end the day in this stream, I want to do some Elevator Saga because it was fun. I'm bad with JavaScript as a whole, and we got to a place where ours doesn't work because we didn't program a second elevator at all. I think we need like an elevator management system. So we could just copy and paste everything that we have here for elevator 2. I think what the easiest thing would be is on this init here. We just need to make another function. Can we just make a function outside of this? I hope that we can. I'm just going to do function like this, and I'm going to say elevator. No, I can't make a function out here. Dang it. I don't want to make a function on the elevator. I just want a generic function that I can pass elevators to. Oh, this is a JSON object. Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right, so okay, so this should work. And then I can call this function from in here. Because what I wanted to do was just paste some of this, all of the elevator crap. Like, I know that this isn't a real elevator manager, but like, you know, it's almost. And then I can do here, instead of getting the first elevator, I can just do elevators dot for each. Yeah, good point. Let's see. I'm gonna call it set up elevators. Then can I just call it here like this? Oh wait, well, I need a function. 1 second. Can't do that. Function elevator. And then I just want to call it here. That's probably not going to work, right? Oh wait, I need to apply. There's a problem with your code. Got it. Was it semicolon? Nope. Not a semi. Okay, so set up elevators is what I made down here. I maybe not call it. Okay, yeah, I didn't call it elevator anymore. This metaprogramming is difficult on my old brain. Oh, wait. I didn't put a comma here. Okay. Didn't do that. Line 77. What did I don't have a line 77. Let's see. 1 second. What is floors? Oh, okay, okay. Oh, you're right, you're right. We did set up the floors. Okay. We just passed in floors, so this was a pretty dumb one. And we need to add it in here. Thank you, chat. Still a problem. We can delete this here. Delete. We can delete this. Did we copy all that down? Yes, we did. Delete. Simplify that up. All right. Now we have comma. We have open close brace. We have open brace here. Close brace. Seems good. All right. So we have elevator and floor set up. Oh, we don't get the elevator here. Oh, but we passed the elevator in. That's what we're doing. We're breaking this down to pass the elevator in. So we do have elevator here. Is this how I call the function? Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of assuming that this is what I do. I've never written JavaScript in JSON. I wanted to see if they have an example. They don't. Oh, okay. Nice. Now this has no coordination. They're pretty dumb. I think the easiest way to coordinate them would just be to say, the easiest way would just be 4 through 7 are the first ones, and 0 through 3 are the second. So let's just do that. How do we want to do that really quick? The easiest way to do that with what we have. The easiest way to do that would be... I was talking about pickup location. But yeah, then if they're dropping off at the higher locations, that just doesn't work very well, does it? No, it doesn't. Well, crap. Do we need a thing that's tracking both of them at this point? I feel like we do. I feel like we probably need something that tracks where they're going and who they're picking up a little better. Because right now, we're just adding this to the queue. Or no, we're not even adding it. We're not using the queue yet. Well, I mean we are. We're just adding it to the queue immediately on the end. Hmm. npm install RabbitMQ. um and then whenever they press a floor button, they just go to whatever floor. You could even get more complicated where, we could say that this only goes. Will they get out on a floor? Probably not. I was going to say it only goes to 3. And if you want to go to 7 from 0, you have to get out on 3 and go over to 2. And 2 will take you up. But I doubt this actually lets you do that complicated of things. Okay, let me think. I'm trying to think of a way to do this simply. I'm like right now my mind is going through like, oh well, we can do like this singleton, which sounds horrible, but like that actually is managing who's on everything. But that's way too complicated. We can solve this a lot simpler. Let me just watch this and think about it. All right. So, the problem here is that it doesn't pick an elevator. We go through every single floor and we basically say alert every elevator. So for every single floor, we alert all of them. And what we need to do is we actually need to pick the elevator when it's going. So what we need to do is get all the elevators. So this function is just garbage. This function is garbage. What we need to do is pick the elevator that we want. So what I really need to change this up to is actually we need a new function called setup floors. And this function right, the elevator could stop on its way up, but doesn't. It goes in the order of button pressed, not nearest. So what I'm trying to do right now is like not over engineer it right away because like I feel like we could write a lot of code and solve this really elegantly, but I want to do it in steps where it's like I want to get good enough. I think that we can easily get good enough for 28 people in 60 seconds and then improve on that. So let me try this. So here, instead of doing this, we're going to actually do floors dot for each function floor. And then here we're going to do the window dot object dot setup floors. Yeah, it is JavaScript. It's JavaScript inside JSON inside one file. I actually think maybe next year, one of my things that I'm going to do is I want to make a game like this for people that uses Wasm so they can use whatever language they want and they can do it like locally as well. I think that that would be amazingly fun. So that's on my list. I've got to get assembly line done and out before I even think about doing something like that. But I think this is cool. All right, so we need to set up floors, and in set up floors, what we need to do is basically set up floors needs to call. You know what? Setup floor needs elevators as well. All right. So we have both of those things coming into this function. And then we want to do this. But instead of going to just the elevator, we want to find the closest elevator. We're going to say elevate. We need to find closest elevator. So we'll make another function here. Find closest Ellie. And I'm going to type out elevator. And that's going to be a function that takes a floor number, num, and elevators. Oh boy. Oh, good call, Russell, for posting that in there. I should have done that. Yeah, I think I'm getting into some dangerous territories. I don't do JavaScript ever. Literally never. I've done TypeScript, which is kind of JavaScript. And even that I do very rarely. So I'm getting into super dangerous territory here. This is probably horrifying. Will not be going on my resume for sure. So what we need to do is for elevators dot for each function elevator. Yeah. That's why I'm gonna say Tejrid. I apologize if that's not how you pronounce your name. Tejrid. If That's why I want to make one of these where you can actually use any language you want that supports Wasm. And I really do want to make one of these games because I think that this is actually a really I explained it one other time, but like it's also something that Advent of Code forces you to do. It forces you to mutate your code and work on your same code base, and it forces you to learn to write code in such a way that you can update and extend it easier than other times. So I think that this is fantastic. Now, writing JavaScript in JSON isn't fantastic. This is not fantastic at all. Debugging this is not fantastic at all. But the concept of this, I think, is awesome. I think is awesome. And I think we're going to make a better one eventually, next year, as soon as the assembly line is done. TypeScript is 3 TypeScripts or JavaScript standing on each other's shoulders in a long coat. I think this is how real lifts work. JavaScript and JSON. Oh gosh. Industry standard. All right, so in this function, what we need to do actually, have I done something bad here? I have the floor number. I basically need to, let's see. Is it let? It's let, right? Let closest equals 10. Or is it? It's var. It's var. I'm sorry. JavaScript is var, right? Yeah, var. Closest is 10. If this is not ES6, JSP together with XLF, called JavaScript code from 2000. I need to rewrite it to support Edge engine. So is this touching a little too close to home for you, Tejrid? Oh. This is horrifying. Industry standard. Okay, so 1 second. What I was doing was, okay, you said that this is not ES6. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I have to use let instead of var? I think that's what you were implying. I'm going to go with that. JSP is, I have never touched this, so I'm going to say the pleasure is all mine in stating that I have never had to deal with JSP. No let support. Okay. Okay. You're confusing me. All right. If, let's see, elevator dot, there's a function for getting, let's see, go to floor, stop, current floor. All right. So we're going to do this, and then if elevator current floor minus, I really need to take the absolute value of this, and I don't know how to do that in JavaScript, minus floor num is less than closest and we're gonna say var le equals null. I don't know if that's valid either. Then le is equal to this elevator. This is horrifying. I know. Even if this code works, it's still bad code. I get it. Even if it's not Java in XML, which is also still makes me laugh. Okay. And then basically we need to just do, here is le dot go to floor floor num. This won't work exactly because we're missing a couple things here. We need to set that, and then we need to set closest is equal to this number right here. And so, you know what we'll do is we'll just do var delta is equal to that. And then we'll just slide delta in here. This will be a little cleaner. Delta, and then closest equals the delta. This is really dumb. I know it's not really orchestrating or managing it in a clean way. I get it. I'm not even sure this will work. So let's step through this. All right, so our init function here. Ooh, actually, Tejra, did you want to go over my next Rust class? If you're here to do that, we can actually do that. I already went over it with Russell. And I can speed through it because my plan is every Saturday to take a half an hour to go over the next Rust lesson to get feedback from you all. So if that's what you're wanting to do, I can stop doing this and having fun and go do that. Hey there, 100% true. What's up? Okay, well, so tell you what, next Saturday we will do the Rust right now. Because that is my plan. I already went over the lesson with Russell, got his feedback, and I'm gonna make it into a video. So I think the really great thing that we're going to do with that is that I'm getting to embed some of the stuff, like the feedback you guys have. So hopefully you guys still also watch the video because it takes a lot of effort to make the video. But like I get to, maybe even you'll ask some questions I don't know the answer to, and I'll get to put that into the video. And hopefully make the video not only clearer for everybody that watches, but also, you know, have more information in of questions that you guys were asking. So next Saturday we will do that as planned. True on YouTube it said, why is feedback important? Well, because I like to do things that help people as much as possible, and since everybody's different, feedback is important. All right, so we're okay. 1 second. We were looking through this. Find closest elevator takes the floor number and elevator. We have this setup floors, which setup floor is here. Setup floor here is on each. This is bad. This is what we need to change. We need to find the closest floor and then go to that floor. Actually, this is going to do that. So we just need to call find closest elevator. We probably want to actually take this part out, the go to floor, out of this function, but you know what, for right now, we're just going to leave it in there. Find close, we have to do the whole window.object, right? Window.obj.find closest elevator. And we have the floor dot, how do I get the floor number? I did it down here, right? No, I need to find that out. That is something. I'm really worried I wrote a decent amount of code without compiling it. Floor num. They said it's a property, but it's a function. If you look over here, they say property floor num, but it's a function. I guess they say it's a function here. That tripped me up. Yeah, it's floor num. Thanks, Tejred. Floor num. And then we just pass in the elevators here. And we'll do this here as well. In the future, we need to actually know if it's up or down being pressed. I think that's going to be a key. Basically, we're going to want to know which way the elevator is going and make it. But let's just see if this works. Okay, this didn't work. Let's step through all the code that I wrote. Have I ever gotten feedback that I thought wasn't true? Oh, sure. You know what, though? I think there's definitely feedback from, like, trolls. Russell gives me a lot of feedback that's not true. But you know, there's feedback that's not true, and then there's feedback that is not entirely true. And what I mean by that is let me say that like I think that Rust is better than Go, just inherently. It's a better language inherently. That doesn't mean I don't think you should ever use Go. I think that there are a lot of times where it's actually very applicable to use Go and should be used. The same with Python. So I could give you the feedback that, oh, you shouldn't be using Rust. Now, maybe it's not true. Maybe you could be using the right language for the tool right then. Maybe it's because that's what you know and you have a deadline, and I don't know that. So the feedback is wrong, but it isn't false. I don't know if this makes sense of where I'm going with this, but part of what's important is understanding your feedback and learning from that and learning to take that feedback. Another one is, and this is something that I really appreciate about a lot of my community, is they'll give me feedback that's hard to hear. Now, you can be nice and you can be mean about giving hard feedback. When I make a video and you don't like something in the video and I worked hard on the video, but there's something that you find aggravating, I really want to hear that feedback. And the thing is, yeah, it can be that a lot of people like it. So there are some things in my videos that people like that will aggravate some people. So again, it's not wrong. The people can say they don't like it, but if 99% of my viewers do like it, then I'm probably not going to change it. It still doesn't make that feedback wrong, though. So I don't know. You gotta take all feedback and actually critically think about it. And generally, when somebody gives me feedback, I ask them questions about it. And I explore what they're thinking about it and try to marry it with the information that I have. I think that's the important part. Like how JavaScript in JavaScript in JSON is maybe the worst thing ever. That's the feedback I'm going with. All right, so we have this setup floors. And the setup floors, what did I do wrong here? Did I spell this right? Floor num elevators. Did I? Oh. No. I didn't. Do you guys see something wrong here? I mean, obviously there's something wrong. Oh, current floor is a function. I know that. I stated that and I screwed it up myself. Have I learned about discerning feedback and improving my content? I've learned a lot by making content on YouTube. I've learned a lot. Yeah. Some about it is how to take feedback. Some of it is like how to have a thicker skin. You know what devastated me? I made a video. So my main channel is not these channels, but I have a YouTube channel. And one of the hardest things that ever happened to me when first making the YouTube is I spent a lot of time debugging a memory issue. And then I made even what I thought was a fun video about it because I tried to make it kind of a little bit lighthearted. And there's a straight up memory leak. And one of the that video was hated probably by a lot of Mac enthusiasts. And the funny thing is, I was vindicated about 3 months later when Apple themselves released a release note with a fix to a memory leak issue. And the M1s are much better after that, much better. But I got like mostly downvotes. Mostly downvotes. Very hated video. My second or my first most hated. My second most hated one is when I said something bad about microservices. That's my second most hated video. I'm learning my lessons. But that was a lesson I learned about not taking validation from what other people think, which is sounds standard, but I do try to help people, and so some of that I find validated if people tell me that I'm helping them. And yeah, so I don't know, there's a lot of lessons, but I also learned the content better. I've never learned Rust as well as when I had to try to teach somebody Rust, or the same with Kubernetes. Talk about a Kubernetes service. I made a Where is my service video. You know how much I learned about exactly how Rust or Kubernetes does services? Like a lot. Just to make that video. And I actually need to redo that video because I've learned even more going on from that. So yeah, absolutely a lot. All right, lesson learned. Don't talk about Apple unless you're going to praise them because the fanboys will come out and they are serious with their pitchforks. Now, what did I screw up here? Oh, I misspelled closest. That's all right. Delta, Delta, Ellie, elevator. I have a comma. I don't need a comma. What did I mess up here? Besides everything. Did you guys see something? I feel like I'm close. I feel like if this compiles, it will at least work better than the last time it was running. Do you sometimes feel unappreciated when trying to help, but then get rewarded with thumbs down? Yeah, it can. I don't know that I deal with that much anymore. First starting off, it can, yeah. I have a pretty awesome Discord channel though. And a lot of people are on it that are pretty awesome. So not much anymore, no. If you didn't like the content and you want to thumbs down it to help Google know that you don't like that content, go for it. If you think that it's bad content and you want to help other people avoid that one, then also go for it. And if you think that's a good way to tell me that that didn't work for you some way, go for it. I would appreciate a comment. Explain why you didn't like the video so that I could make it better in the future. But yeah. Why did I screw this up so badly? Find closest elevator. So we set up floors. Set up floors goes here, which calls find closest elevator. Find closest elevator is right here. Don't indent like that. Why is this not working? Does it not use, is it let that I can use? Did you go down a bad path with this? I'm going to say it's var. I think it's var. Come on, Russell, you're my JavaScript expert. What did I screw up? Instead of assigning this to null, we could actually assign this to 0. So just the first elevator. And then we could actually just get the elevator number here. I think that there's an elevator number. And then we could just get whichever elevator it is. Wait, this is elevator object. Go to floor, stop, current floor, going up, down. Doesn't tell me which elevator it is. Curse you. Well, I guess it's I switched. I guess it's really just which one it is in the for each loop. Maybe that doesn't help us. Okay, we have get current floor. That's the right function, right? No, it's floor num. No, this is on the elevator. Sorry, 1 second. It is get current floor, right? Current floor, not get. Oh gosh. Oh, I have just current floor. Never mind. Debugging this sometimes. Is there a way that I can get better logs? What makes a Discord channel awesome? Awesome people. Awesome people that don't mind watching you struggle to debug this. Memes. Kay's cooking. You know, no one I've actually ever had to actually ban. We might have anathema points, but we've never actually had to ban somebody for bad behavior. We get a little feisty. We like to hate on Java. We really like to hate on Java inside of XML. That has a special place, not in any of our hearts. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, this is the floor num from here. Floor num. Okay, so this is all looking right. What did I screw up? What have I done so poorly here? All right, so we have floors. We're calling for each, getting the floor. On the floor, we're making a listener for up button pressed, down button pressed. It's taking a function. On that function, we are passing the elevators to that function with the floor number. Oh, okay, good point. Oh, this is omega tiny. There we go. Floors.forEach is not a function. What? I do believe you are wrong. Oh, wait. set up floors is, oh, we're just, okay, well, yeah, this is not a, they are right. Check it out. We're asking to pass in floors here. We were looking for the list here. So, okay, cool. There we go. Okay, they're in unison. They're in unison. This is better, I think. This is better. They're still going to each other's floor. But it's not nearly as bad. This might even almost passed. Almost passed. I think we could probably pass it if we got the right combo. Why are they both going to the same floor? On the button pressed, it should only give it to one elevator, right? Oh, but they're both the exact same distance. But it still should limit it to just one, right? We got 25 transport. It still should narrow it down to just one, right? Well, thanks. If you want to check out, you're on my YouTube channel that's, you're on my YouTube channel that is just to store my live streams. I also stream this on Twitch that you can go see. I also have, this is my main channel here. So you can go and check the words you want to hear from your elevator engineer. Almost passed. So you can go check out my YouTube channel there, or if you'd like, you can check out my Twitch stream at most people watch this live on Twitch. The name will probably be changing, but yeah. Yeah, it's probably, it almost worked. There was no deaths, no fatalities. I'm still wondering why both, so watch this. When it starts, they both go for that person. And I don't think that they should, right? Because find closest elevator. So on the button up pressed or the button down pressed, it should find the closest elevator. And this should boil it down to a single elevator. Just one elevator. Oh, we still have this set up elevators. Okay, what we need to do is this. We're going to delete this. This is garbage code. Is it that deleting code is going to make this work? Because that's always the best, is when you delete code and it actually works. Oh my gosh. Is this working? This one went, but it was full. We have problems. Let's try to analyze what's happening here really quickly. Okay, so what was that? This one was obviously not the closest one, and it went here. And this one was right here, and it went all the way down. So it's picking, our closest elevator function is picking the farthest elevator, I feel like. Oh, we didn't take the absolute value. How do I take the absolute value? What's happening is a negative. I bet you. So basically, what's happening here, I think, is that, if you're at room 4 and it's 7, 1 second. Math.abs. Okay, sweet. 1 second, really quickly. Okay, so math.abs. So what we need to do is we just need to do math.abs. Is that going to fix all of this for us? So that was the closest elevator. Cool. That did. They still overlap on each other. And they're taking the destination of the people in them before the destination of the people. I'm a junior engineer. That's what I'm changing the stream title to. Junior elevator engineer. Oh, we transported 27. This is just a flaky test. That's what this is. This is a flaky test. It will pass one of these times. All right. So what's going on here? We still have the problem of them going to floors that no longer have people. And even now, they're going to the same floors because of the people that they want to drop off. Oh man, we got 27 again? Flaky test. Okay. So let's see. How do we manage? We just pop in the queue going to that floor when that button is pressed. But what we really need to do is check that queue for that floor number. So what we need to do first is actually validate that that floor is not already in the queue. So that's elevator dot. What was the get queue? Destination queue. Can I just do like a? Do I have to do a for each on this? I guess I do. This is really gross, but this is how I know how to do it. Oh, index it of. Oh, sweet! You saved me from doing what I was thinking was going to be really gross. Index of floor. I'm going to assume that it returns a -1 if it doesn't find it. Yeah, okay, perfect. Also, pro tip, never put special meanings in a -1. This is why I love Rust, is because of its return. It returns a result, and thus you don't have this, I make -1 a special number. I hate this, but I also figured because it was JavaScript, that's what they were going to do. Never give special meaning. Ugh. All right, let's see. Var I equals that. Let's see. Junior elevator engineer here, people. If I is greater than 0. Oh, no. If I is equal to -1, that's what we want. It's not found. If I is equals -1, Almost made a bug. All right. If I is equal to -1, so if it's not found, that's only time we add it. If we do find it, we don't want to add it. We're already going there. All right, let's apply this and see how this goes. This is going to pass the tests. I still want to say it's not picking the closest elevator. You know what? Okay. We have a bad assumption. And this is good because I think bad assumptions are things people don't think about. We made, when somebody clicks on find the closest elevator, or when we did the whole find the closest elevator, we said find the closest elevator right now. But that is not what we need to know. We need to know what at the end of the last queue, who will be the closest. So the elevators right now, we don't care about where they are because they already have a group of things that they're going in. We need to know who will be closer at the end of their queue. Now, in theory, we should also reshuffle their queues if that makes sense, like to pick up somebody on the way. But we're not getting there that fast. Oh, we're still transporting 27. We're so close. I still think that this is just a flaky test. Like an unsupervised kid. 2 people in lifts to run over 20 floors before being dropped off. Oh. Bam. Flaky test. We only need 54 seconds. Do we go on or do we fix this? I think we go to the next challenge. I think we go to the 100 people in 68. I think this will just work. This is just going to work. This is going to work. Actually, I think this is doing better because there's fewer floors. I think our algorithm sucks more with more floors. We almost made it, actually. Almost made it. Okay, so we have some problems. I actually think the problems are easier in the last one to see. I think it's easier here to see this. So this elevator was here. Instead of coming up here to pick up these people, it went all the way back down because that was already in its queue. So, yeah, and I think this is end of stream because I think what we have to do to make this better is to actually intelligently rearrange their queues. And I'm not going to do that in the remaining time. We have to... Right, because that was their queue. And that's what I'm saying is, like, when I said who is the closest elevator, it's right now. But floor 2 could have already been... So when that button was pressed... All right, let me try to show this. It was sitting at floor 6 when that button was pressed. And it said, I'm the closest one. Because it was. Floor 7 was right here. It was only one away. That was working properly. What isn't the thing is, floor 0 was already in the queue from the passenger that was inside of it. So it was already going to go here. What if there was a sort on the floor list or on the list? Maybe that's all. Maybe we could just do that. Each event, we just sort the list. No, that gets dangerous. That gets dangerous, and this is why. What if we fill up with people that want to be on 0? And we stop at every floor to not pick up people because there was people there. We're going to slow this elevator down, and it's already at capacity. So I don't think that you can just do that blindly with a sort. I didn't say sort ascending. I don't know what sort you're going to try to do to solve that, though. Look at that. We had a whole second left. Whole second. Um... What are you wanting to sort on then? Okay, the lift direction, that's actually a pretty good one. I don't know about their API. They do have direction, I believe. Let's see. On the elevator API, there's go to floor stop, current floor, going up indicator, going down indicator, max passenger load factor, destination direction. So we have a destination direction. We have a load factor. Oh, there's different weights of passengers? Oh, gosh. All right. All right, direction with list value, current floor, any negative get plus 100 added. Oh, hey, dude, thanks for the follow. Imjiger. Imjiger? I'm gonna say Imjiger. Thanks for following. Glad you liked it. Like the stream. Yeah, no, it is too much for today. So next Saturday, though, real talk. Don't all leave really quickly. I want to let you all know what's going on. I do stream in the evenings. If you can make it, I know it's super late for Europe and Africa during that time, but we'll see about doing it. I'm not a morning person, but we'll see about doing a morning stream during the week. In those, I'm gonna just try to get stuff done for my YouTube channel, whatever. On Saturdays, maybe a little bit more fun, but one of the things I want to do is at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I want to go over the Rust class. So if you're wanting to follow along with the Rust class, we're going to do the next lesson live, and that will let you ask questions and stuff. I'd still appreciate you watching the video and letting me know how I did on the video, but it's also going to let me embed your guys' feedback. So if you have questions of things I didn't answer or things that you found confusing, I can take that and I can embed it in the video, which would be really awesome. So that would be awesome. And and then other than that, we can pretty much do whatever. We have a chatbot that works. We can work on that. We can do some elevator queue. That's fun. And we can work on assembly line, which is the project Russell and I are working on to really revolutionize. That's what I'm going to say. CI/CD pipelines. So yeah. Other than that, let's find somebody to raid. I've never done a raid before. I tried last week and failed, so we're gonna try again to raid somebody. So let me find somebody to raid really quickly, and we'll raid them. Let's see. Tim is streaming. So let's if you guys don't know who Tim is, he made his own game engine. Definitely a better engineer than I am. And so that's what he's doing. If you guys like to see, I'm gonna try to raid him. I think that it's raid, and then at the channel, Tim. All right, it's working. Have you guys gotten transported? Nearly halfway. Like, wait. Oh, I have to click right now. Ha. Sorry, that was my bad.